Woo, this is good. Oh, they not used to being held accountable. This is good. Make an example out of somebody. This is good. Let's make it rest. There we go. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Yeah. Somebody's got to be held accountable. Somebody got to be put with their hands behind their back. Arrest every last one of them. Make an example. Yeah, drag his butt. Make an example out of him. Yeah, they make an example of that one right there. They tearing that one off the chicken bones. They tearing the meat off them chicken bones right there. Whoop.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. And you try to we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again. They're anarchists and agitators, professional anarchists and agitators, and they get hired by wealthy people, some of whom I know, I guess, I probably know them. And you wouldn't know it. You're at dinner with them, everything's nice, and then you find out that they funded millions of dollars to these lunatics. Steve, could you say a couple of words?
Yes, Mr. President. This is a very historic and significant day. This is the first time in American history that there is an all-of-government effort to dismantle left-wing terrorism, to dismantle Antifa, to dismantle the organizations that have been carrying out these acts of political violence and terrorism. What we have seen, if you look at whether it be going back to the riots that started with Black Lives Matter and all the way through to the Antifa riots, the attacks on ICE officers, the doxing campaigns, and now the political assassinations, these are not lone, isolated events. This is part of an organized campaign of radical left terrorism. It is structured, it is sophisticated, it is well funded, it is well planned. There is really no parallel like this to anything else in the country right now. There is an entire system of feeder organizations that provide money, resources, weapons, and when they're attacking ICE officers, they're attacking federal buildings, or they're isolating public officials for harassment, doxing, intimidation, and ultimately attempted assassination. It is all carefully planned, executed, and thought through. It is terrorism on our soil. Because of this executive order, Cash and Pam are going to have the tools they need, working with Scott, to take these organizations apart piece by piece. And the central hub of that effort is going to be the Joint Terrorism Task Force, or JTTF, which sits inside the Federal Bureau of Investigation. But for those at home who are worried about terrorism in this country, they need to understand, because of President Trump's strength, because of his vision, because of his leadership, we are now going to use the entire force of the federal government to uproot these organizations root and branch. And again, that's only possible because of President Trump and his leadership.
Thank you, Steve. Cash, please.
Don't make an example out of him. Don't make an example. It's good. Paid protest, huh? Y'all got no job, huh? Y'all got no job, huh? It's all gonna come out. I ain't gonna lie though. Let me go back. Go back to the one that's flicking the officer. That dye job is terrible. I've seen some leftists with some amazing, beautiful dye jobs. I'm telling but that dye job right there is terrible. Yeah. Man, I'm sorry, I had to point that out. See, like her friend next to her, or that might be her partner, or is that a he? But anyways, that dye job is cool. You see how like you know how you see how that one, the fade, you know, the colors there. This one right here, yeah, it's all dry and faded out and crunchy. Yeah, that dye job is terrible. Yeah, you got bigger things to worry about than to be flicking off agents. I'm just saying, you got bigger things to worry about than be flicking off people that's doing their actual job. Just saying, y'all are out here wasting y'all time.
Get the license plate!
Oh, I always do, don't worry. Hey, there's people in the way!
Nazis.
You guys need any help? Are you okay?
The officials have cleared out the front of the gate, which is over there, and they've pushed everybody down the road for good ways. Multiple different kinds of munitions were used, especially the tear gas.
They taking a victory lap. They taking a victory lap. Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about. Anybody want to fuck around and find out? Let's find out then. That Ford F-150. 4x4. What them Patriots know about that Ford? But about that Ford F-150? Which one we taking? The 3.5 EcoBoost or the 5.0? The V8 or the V6? Hey, I can show you how to make both of them reliable. You can get about 500, 600,000 miles out that truck right there. Yeah, you take care of it, yeah. That 4x4, yeah. But sometimes them EcoBoosts be a hit or miss. Them turbos, man, them turbos give you little issues. Hey, it's a hit or miss. Them damn turbos. If you know, you know.
What are we doing? Poster on the back of the truck. Like, what is the theater for? I don't get it.
You're such a brave man. You're such a big boy. Pointing your guns at citizens while you're trying to take off your mask, you Nazi.
What they out there?
Quit your job and save your soul.
What a disgrace, man.
Was it worth it? Terrorizing our fucking city?
You stop terrorizing your neighbors.
Oh boy. Some of these people are so sad and pathetic, man. What a disgrace.
To protect war-ravaged Portland. Now, I remember this well. I remember 2020. There's a lot of violence in Portland. There was a courthouse that folks tried to set on fire, and President Trump deployed federal law enforcement there. I was his press secretary at the time. Here's what I said. By any objective standard, the violence, chaos, and anarchy in Portland is unacceptable. Yet Democrats continue to put politics above peace while this president seeks to restore law and order. Now, someone who was there with me in the White House at that time was Katie Miller. She's the host of the Katie Miller podcast. She has a long track record in the Trump administration. Katie, you and I were there in the summer of 2020. We remember how dangerous Portland got, and they still have crime problems today. What do you make of the president's action?
You know, the greatest difference between President Trump's first term and a second term is that we're not waiting for there to be set fires in Portland. As President Trump said in 2020, it's an anarchist jurisdiction. So what do you do with an anarchist jurisdiction? You deploy as many troops as possible. You gain control quickly, and you say, we are coming for you, and we will not allow the riots in the street like we did in the summer of 2020. This is President Trump's country, and he has promised to make sure that every American feels safe, and that includes our brave law enforcement, who's been the subject to too many violent attacks, whether that be what happened this week or weeks before that. It is not acceptable to attack law enforcement who are just carrying out the duty that Congress has charged them with. And President Trump has said no more. And by doing this action today, he's not waiting for it to get worse. He is going to protect our brave men and women who serve our country.
Katie, I'm really glad that you made that the focus, the brave men and women, because at that time in Portland back in 2020, I remember vividly when protesters tried to light a courthouse on fire, and there was federal law enforcement in and around this. And President Trump does have the authority to deploy National Guard to federal property to protect federal assets. And Katie, I just saw yesterday ICE agents who were followed, people giving out their address, the attacks on ICE facilities. You worked at DHS. Tell us what you know about ICE agents, DHS officials
who put their lives on the line every single day to do the job that day. Law enforcement served as crowd control measures. Yes, they made over 1,000 arrests back in 2020. But by doing this action today, he's saying that we're not going to wait. We're going to come quickly and come hard. And by doing that, you're protecting the ICE law enforcement in the field, because if you are greenlighting even a little bit of an ounce of attack against them, you don't know what's going to happen next. I mean, maybe we do, and we saw that what happened with our friend Charlie Kirk. But when you take quick and swift action, you are going to stand up for all men and women who today are on the streets arresting illegal aliens and ensuring their deportation, which is exactly what President Trump said he was going to do, is remove every illegal alien present in this country. And who's doing that? That is ICE. And we must all stand together with the people who are serving our great country.
Katie, I only have a few moments here, but I love listening to the Katie Miller podcast because I know you as a friend, and it's really cool because I feel like I'm getting to know the new Trump administration as a friend. I saw your conversation with J.D. Vance. You asked some really fun questions. What is the most exciting thing you've learned about a Trump administration official?
The greatest thing I really learned is how friendly they are with one another, which is such a change from the first administration, is that this time President Trump has truly picked a cabinet who enjoys hanging out with each other, whether that be on Air Force One or at dinners or on girls' nights together, because President Trump has selected such a diverse cabinet that includes more women than ever before.
Yeah, it's really fun to watch. Like my friend Caroline Levitt and Margot, they're all great friends, truly, really, and they're doing
accountability is here. Former FBI Director James Comey to be the first member of the deep state indicted. Multiple indictments coming. Also, George Soros' Open Society Foundation confirming this morning in a statement that it appears like they're a target of a criminal investigation after Antifa members were arrested and charged with terror yesterday. Also, new information on Joshua Jane's confession letter. Multiple notes the FBI just released. MSNBC needing to read them on air, live on air. Wait till you see this.
President Trump officially signing an executive as the White House aims to crack down on the sources.
The dark sources funding and supporting this domestic terrorism to finally restore order in our country. The American people can expect further, very strong action on this very soon.
So for the first time ever, Antifa domestic terror suspects are arrested. Several Antifa members arrested and criminally charged yesterday after surrounding an ICE building in Eugene, Oregon, one day after that other ICE facility in Dallas, Texas was shot up. Federal officers using tear gas, making arrests, not taking any chances after what just happened, announcing multiple Antifa militants and far-left extremists were arrested yesterday after attempting to lay siege on this federal building. Antifa was there attempting to target ICE officers who were inside this building. What we're being told is the FBI and the DOJ are looking to charge these people with terrorism, domestic terror charges. When you're charged with terrorism, you're not treated the same way. This isn't like you're jaywalking or something. The tactics the government uses are expanded. Then this morning, the Soros Open Society Foundation releasing this statement. The Open Society Foundation unequivocally condemns terrorism and does not fund terror. Our activities are peaceful and lawful, and our guarantees are expected to abide by human rights principles and comply with the law. These accusations are politically motivated attacks on civil society meant to silence speech the administration disagrees with and undermine the First Amendment right to free speech. When power is abused to take away the rights of some people, it puts the rights of all people at risk. Our work in the United States is dedicated to strengthening democracy and upholding constitutional freedoms. We stand by the work we do to improve the lives of people in the United States and across the world. President Trump just last week announced that George Soros and his entire network will be investigated under RICO, claiming that Soros is behind the funding, training, and radicalization of many young people in this country. Watch this.
I had one the other night. I went into a restaurant, and this woman stood up. I looked at her immediately. She had money. She wasn't serious. They get paid for it. They're professional from Soros and other people. And we're going to look into Soros because I think it's a RICO case against him and other people. Because this is more than like protests. This is real agitation. This is riots on the street. And we're going to look into that.
That was a week ago. Then just a few days ago, Trump doubled down, confirmed that his administration is actively investigating the Soroses. Watch what he said.
They have signs and they're all professionally made. Real protesters make them in their basement. And they're all the same.
So who's behind it? Do you have a gut feeling?
You hear Soros. I don't know. We're going to find out if he's behind it. But it's incitement to riot. That's a criminal act. And people are dying because of it. So it's really, it's death. So we're gonna find out, and it should have been done a long time ago.
Soros Open Society Foundation's statement this morning may have been in response to being served with subpoenas to turn over documents, bank statements, that kind of thing. We're going to have more about this in the coming days. Meanwhile,
the story as we welcome in DHS Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs and great friend of the program, Tricia McLaughlin. Wow. When I saw that story, that's all I could think of. I mean, there's so much to go there. But I want to begin not with Iowa, but this idea of what's happening in Portland. I want to share this from Truth Social. This is the president. At the request of Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, I am directing Secretary of War Pete Hegseth to provide all necessary troops to protect war-ravaged Portland and any of our ICE facilities under siege from attack by Antifa and other domestic terrorists. I am also authorizing full force if necessary. Thank you for your attention to this matter. That is what we call an escalation in making sure that people understand the president and this administration is taking this very seriously.
That's leadership. President Trump is giving our law enforcement the resources they need to carry out their mission, to do their job and enforce the rule of law. We're grateful for the partnership of Secretary Hegseth. There are surging federal resources there. I mean, Kevin, you've seen the images. You've seen what's happened out of Chicago yesterday. The rioters, one even bringing a handgun. That individual was arrested, as were about 90 19 other individuals arrested for obstructing justice, for trying to prevent these vehicles from getting into the ICE detention facility, and for assaulting our law enforcement. We're not going to put up with it. This administration is not playing games.
I want to share two graphics back to back. Just this is more instructive for the audience. I know you're well aware of this. This is the ICE agent assaults. And we've talked about how this has been a real problem, but when you see the numbers, it really it's galling, frankly. More than 1,000% increase, according to DHS sources. And in case you're wondering, is this isolated? Let me just share what Antifa is said to be doing. We've got arrests. We've got a map here, and it's everywhere. It's from coast to coast. It's in major cities all around. And I think that underscores, Tricia, why this is so crucial that the president take action right now, not just to ensure the safety of ICE and law enforcement, but also, frankly, to ensure the safety of our communities.
Exactly, the safety of the American public. And what we're seeing is these riots and these protests are becoming highly organized. We're seeing that people are being bussed in. We're looking at, and President Trump has directed a whole of government approach to be looking at those funding streams. Who is sowing this chaos and this violence in American communities? And who's paying for this? So whether it be in Portland, whether it be in Chicago or otherwise, we will bring the resources we need to make sure that Americans are safe.
Let me follow up on that. How do you go about defunding or at least targeting the cash? Because I don't believe this is as organic as some people suggest. I've heard some people in the media say, oh, it's just a ragtag collection of individuals out there. I don't buy that for a second. Is that also the administration's perspective, that this is not as organic as some would lead you to believe?
No, we're seeing a lot of paid protesters, that they actually do this full time for a living.
Right?
They'll go from city to city, whether it be Portland, Chicago, or Los Angeles, and they're showing up. They don't even know what the heck they're protesting for. They're just there to create chaos, to obstruct our officers, and really sometimes violence is which we're seeing.
Do they have a job?
When you saw these arrests today, this Instagram live situation, I mean,
boy.
Yeah, I know.
It's unhinged.
It's absolutely shocking to me, especially those of us who understand the use of social media, this idea of following. And this is when you have policies like in California where they're suggesting they shouldn't be allowed to wear a mask. Again, this is exactly why people are so concerned about the health, safety, and well-being of these officers of the court, these ICE enforcement agents and law enforcement who are simply trying to do their jobs.
Exactly. This is a dangerous job as it is. They're targeting known and suspected terrorists, members of Tren de Aragua, MS-13, and then to have these unhinged individuals stalk a member of our law enforcement, follow him home, and then put his address online is just beyond the pale. These ladies, if they don't like the law, they should lobby Congress to change it. But to go after one of our law enforcement officers is just disgusting, unacceptable. And may I just add the fact that these women, they should just go to Congress.
Yeah.
This is absolutely crazy, Kevin.
It's really shocking. Let me share this. This is Hakeem Jeffries. Basically, when the president speaks very, shall we say, colorfully about some of his political opponents, and frankly, there's a great deal of criticism, and I think some of it is fair. You have to be careful with language. But what Hakeem Jeffries is suggesting is that the president is making it difficult for them, not just for DHS, by his tone. Listen to this, get your reaction.
Here's what the Department of Homeland Security has done. The Department of Homeland Security put out a hit list directed at Democratic members of Congress, Democratic governors, and Democratic officials. It's a hit list.
Look at this clown. Got all this Diddy all on his forehead. I tell you. I tell you. Then they call him Dollar Store Obama. You know, we need to stop disrespecting the dollar store. Y'all need to be grateful for that dollar store. I love my dollar store. It's 5 minutes from my property, 5 minutes from my house. And I love that dollar store with my whole heart. We need to stop disrespecting the dollar store. Stop calling this man Dollar Store Obama. This man is way worse than that. What a disgrace. And I don't even know why they keep giving him airtime. He come up here and just he's running off a script. He's running off the exact same script every single time.
Saying to crazies all across the country, target these people. And so, no, we're not going to be lectured by the Department of Homeland Security. Take your hit list down.
A hit list is what he's talking about.
Hit list.
There are a lot of people, frankly, who would argue that's incredibly irresponsible to make that suggestion. 30 seconds. I want to give you a chance to respond.
He's detached from reality. We saw what just happened at our Dallas ICE facility, where it was shot up by a lunatic, by a deranged individual, and he's been emboldened, and others like him have been emboldened by a lot of the rhetoric we're seeing out of Democrat politicians like Hakeem Jeffries, who continues to demonize and dehumanize our ICE law enforcement, calling them Nazis, calling them the Gestapo. It has to stop now.
And you hear it all the time, and especially at this point in our history, people need to really take the temperature down in the room. So great to see you, Tricia McLaughlin.
Appreciate
your time today. Thank you very, very